Headed over to chat with CEO at the American Energy Institute, Mr. Jason Isaac, about the Republicans moving to kill the EV subsidies, which could mean some relief for those of us who think it's stupid in the first place. Hi, Jason.
Hey, great to be on, Vaughn. Good morning.
Good. Thanks for being here. I don't have the capability of not just letting the words flow, because I just think this whole thing was stupid. Mandating people on what they can and can't drive or what they can have in their house. This is America. I don't know where they thought we were. Yeah, so...
Yeah, and having you and I pay for ultra-wealthy people to drive basically a fancy golf cart, which is in most cases an additional vehicle. It's not the primary vehicle, but that's the fact of the matter. And Congress is targeting one of the easiest tax credits that they can target. It's a $7,500 tax credit for EVs. It's not that much money when you look at how much EVs are subsidized. Just published a report recently. It's on AmericanEnergyInstitute.com. You look at the total amount of subsidies that each EV sold incurs, it's almost $100,000 per EV sold that you and I are paying for. It's ratepayers, of utilities, because utilities have to increase their infrastructure. That gets socialized across their entire customer base. Mm-hmm. It's the purchasers of gas vehicles and taxpayers, but nearly $100,000 in subsidies. So Congress is looking to take some action to eliminate some of that, and then actually to get electric vehicles to contribute to the federal fuel taxes that you and I pay every time we fuel up our cars. EVs don't pay federal fuel tax dollars, so they're looking to about a $200 annual fee on electric vehicles so they can contribute towards road maintenance, which they currently do not at the federal level.
Because they're heavy as hell. And I'm telling you right now, their tires are giving off a lot of little particles y'all think are killing the world. And they really give off a lot of smoke when you start them on fire. So
yeah, they don't burn too clean compared to gasoline and hybrid electric vehicles and diesel vehicles. But you're right, that's the weight of those vehicles, sometimes 50% heavier than a traditional internal combustion engine vehicle. Mm-hmm. They do put more wear and tear on roads. There are now some industry specifications being considered for when you build parking garages. Texas is looking to pass a law that if our Texas Department of Transportation installs chargers at parking garages, that they need to assess the weight of EVs and if EVs could even be allowed if that infrastructure is managed to handle their weight. But they really should be classified as almost heavy-duty vehicles like a tractor-trailer that hauls freight because of the weight of the vehicles themselves.
But let's jump in with both feet before we think of any of that, right? Let's mandate stuff we don't understand and then go, oh, I didn't know that, because that's kind of how they operate.
Yeah, that's how the last administration was doing with Pete Buttigieg over there, pushing electric vehicles. You had the administrator of the EPA having to show up with an advanced team to block charging stations at EVs so she could show up and virtue signal that she was charging an EV. Meanwhile, a family of four in an electric vehicle is literally sidelined waiting for the former administrator, the Secretary of Energy, to show up. That was Granholm. But now we've got some really good people in there, and that absurdity is coming to an end, and they're looking to pull back billions of dollars in grift and corporate welfare for these things that just demand is proving that people really don't want. And what's most mind-boggling to me is there was just some research released yesterday that shows that the average person keeps a gasoline or diesel vehicle on average of 12 years. The average age of vehicle on the road right now is over 13 years old. But people typically keep them at least 12 years. Electric vehicles are being replaced every 3 years. So one internal combustion engine car is equivalent to 4 electric vehicles that we know require massive amounts of land in China and Africa and Chile to make the battery components and the electrical components that go into that EV. They require so much more components, and now they're being replaced every 3 years. It's an incredible drain on our habitat, and it's actually probably not having any environmental benefit whatsoever. It's probably an incredible detriment when you think about all the tires that they go through and the fact they're being replaced every 3 years.
I can't get the picture of Kamala standing there like she's holding the nozzle filling the gas tank when it's an electric charger. I just can't get that picture out of my head. That's how much she knows about them. But, all these empty EVs that are no longer being used, maybe we can give them to all the people who are lining the streets of California who are homeless and crapping in the street. Maybe they can live in those as a shell and just at least have some cover. But,
Convert them into mini homes.
yeah,
Hey,
why
I'm all
not?
for that.
Let's make some use out of them. They're heavy. They won't blow away in a storm. But here's my thing. If you want an EV, please buy one. If you want a hybrid, knock yourself out. As a matter of fact, I kind of like hybrids because they give you options. But when it comes down to mandating what I can or can't buy, that's ridiculous. And California is not going to lift this mandate, even if it's federal. So I don't know how they're going to do that. But it's kind of like the marijuana laws. Like federally, it's still illegal, but a lot of states have passed so that it's legal in that state. But you better make a map of where EVs are mandated or not mandated, because you drive your combustible engine into California at some point in time, they're probably going to arrest you. What's going to happen? What's going to happen if somebody drives a truck through there? What are they going to do? Chase them out?
Before everyone's going to stop and look and be like, "What is that?"
It's just
I've never seen one of those.
If I have a full tank of gas, they're never going to catch me because they're going to run out of power before they can get me to stop.
I think reality is going to hit them hard in the face because they're going to realize that the only thing that an electric tractor trailer can haul is potato chips, and in the Maha movement, that's not a good diet anymore. And so I do. I think. Yeah, so I think California is going to wake up with a reality like, okay, maybe we do need diesel vehicles. Maybe we do need some natural gas trucks. Those are okay. Because, diesel powers the world. It really does. You think about the ships that are moving freight around the world. It's a great fuel for power, for torque, for hauling heavy things.
For everything.
In fact, it's actually mining all the components that are going into electric vehicles.
Yeah.
So we don't want diesel fuel anymore. You don't want hydrocarbons or fossil fuels anymore. Then you're not going to have the mining equipment to make and pull the elements out of the ground to make an electric vehicle. They just don't come from rainbows and unicorns and pixie dust.
But they do when you're on the left. Everything is rainbows and pixie dust because they truly believe they are on the side of the good that's saving Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is laughing, recreating Antarctica, saying, in your face, all the polar bears are fine. They're repopulating. And we just want to guilt you into doing what we want you to do, when the fact remains there is freedom of choice in this country. And for them, that just means killing babies. But when it comes to what I want to drive, what kind of ceiling fan, what kind of stove I want Gordon Ramsay in front of the Senate when they say he can't have a gas stove. That's who I want making the argument.
Amen. Well, Kamala would probably be there with her husband, too. They've got a beautiful gas stove at their residence in D.C. that they were showing with their baking a Christmas dinner a couple of years ago. And I'm like, oh, nice gas stove in the background. Why can't I have a gas stove? The hypocrisy knows no bounds. They virtue signal, and it's incredibly costly to the rest of the Americans with their pipe dreams that they're trying to push down our throats.
I am bowing down to your greatness for just quoting Tombstone. You are now my favorite person.
That's great.
It appears my hypocrisy has no bounds.
That's right.
And cowboys sometimes die with their boots off. All right. Jason Isaac, CEO, American Energy Institute. The EV mandate may go away, might save us a lot of money, and that's the bottom line. Where do they go to read more, Jason?
AmericanEnergyInstitute.com, or you can find me on X at Isaac for Energy.
Okay, pray for Missouri. We're getting hit by big storms, so keep us in your thoughts.
Send us the water. We need it in Texas.
Please
Thank
take
you.
it. Bye. That's
Bye.
Jason Isaac.